Visualization designers are creating increasingly intricate visualizations and sharing them with the public, which is great because they give us a way to understand the data that's becoming so important in our everyday life. But as we're moving from simple static graphs to advanced charts with many data points and interactive elements, new accessibility challenges arise for visually impaired users. Current standards on how to make web content accessible aren't really sufficient, and it's unclear what approaches past research has developed, such as automatic descriptions or systems that create tactile charts or use sound to produce sonified graphs, are kept up to date with the latest developments in the field of visualization. Other research conducted empirical studies with blind and low vision users to find out about their problems and needs. But it did not address the perspective of visualization creators who are supposed to make accessible visualizations. There doesn't seem to be a consensus on how to approach the challenge, but the consequence of visualizations being inaccessible is the exclusion of visually impaired people from the conversations about data that describe our world. If we want to ensure equal access to visualizations, we first need to understand how visualizations in the wild are made accessible, if at all. Secondly, we need to learn more about practitioners' rationale behind design choices. And we must find out what exactly it is that makes it challenging to create accessible visualizations. To address this, we used a three-stage mixed methods design. First, we analyzed the accessibility approaches of 95 visualizations to understand what accessible design looks like in practice. To learn more about the context behind design choices, we then asked practitioners themselves in an online survey with 144 participants. We followed up with 10 interviews to gain even richer insights. How are visualizations in the wild made accessible? We curated a set of different visualizations from various sectors and parsed them with screen readers to perform qualitative content analysis and garner theory-inspired open coding. This looked a bit like this.
A graph that shows the number of coronavirus vaccines in development.
The screen reader reads out loud textual elements on the screen or descriptions of a visualization if there is one. We also inspected the source code of each visualization and the accessibility statements of each venue. Through the coding process, we derived 8 dimensions that can give a good idea of what was done to make each visualization accessible. What we found was that the information made accessible typically does not go beyond mentioning basic elements of the chart. Much less frequently could screen readers pick up the core value in all trends of the chart. Most of the times, there's little to no insight on the actual data. In theory, designers could support accessibility by providing an informative overview that communicates the trend or message. In the wild, however, that was rarely the case. So what is practitioners' rationale behind observed design choices? We conducted an online survey to which 144 visualization designers or developers, data scientists, data journalists, and other visualization practitioners replied. They worked in all different sorts of organizations and had different experiences and thus different perspectives. We asked several questions relating to participants' awareness and evaluation of visualization accessibility and the role of accessibility at the workplace. 60% are either novices that do not have any or only little experience, and only 6% said they are experts in visualization accessibility. We also saw differences related to criterions. It was mostly people with less experience that placed little value in conveying underlying data. More experienced practitioners further used a greater variety of strategies to ensure accessibility, such as referring to official standards and guidelines or using tools to check for accessibility issues. Later in our interviews, we also found that experts hold more favorable mindsets, framing accessibility challenges as regular design tasks that can have creative solutions. We had found in our content analysis that accessibility was different across sectors. We followed up on this in our survey with practitioners that actually worked in different sectors and found similar differences. In the public sector, accessibility guidelines are in place more often and enforced more strictly. Our results point at a lack of support and a diffusion of responsibility at the workplace. For 30%, accessibility is not a topic at the workplace, and about 40% didn't really know whether it was them or someone else who was responsible for ensuring accessibility. While in general most participants say they value the importance of visualization accessibility, we found that about 71% could think of reasons to withhold accessibility features, mostly when the text provides the same information or the visualization is too complex. This may explain a known accessibility issue which we observed as well, where a chart is not mentioned at all in the text, effectively making it non-perceivable through screen readers. We refer to this phenomenon as phantom visualizations because even though they are on the website, users won't be able to tell that these visualizations are there. Now we want to know what challenges practitioners face. We conducted semi-structured interviews with 10 selected practitioners who had different levels of expertise in visualization accessibility to ask them about their struggles and solutions, and we analyzed them using thematic coding. Interviews describe which role their organization plays, which motivators and hurdles they see, and how they deal with complex and interactive visualizations. Regarding the role of the organization, participants spoke of tension between their willingness to put effort into accessibility and expectations placed on them to fulfill other job responsibilities that may be seen as more profitable. One participant explained that as visualizations were just one of many tasks at their job, they think that spending a lot of time making a visualization accessible or thinking about it wouldn't be as highly valued. When talking about motivators, participants explained that they empathize with visually impaired users, but also that they feel that it's part of doing their job right. Good design is universal design. Another explains how accessibility considerations, such as clear navigation, benefit all users. One of the greatest challenges that our interviews name is making people aware and making people care. If you don't even know about it, you're not going to do anything. We also noticed tension between participants decided to create visualizations with many data points or exploratory visualizations with advanced interactions and their accessibility. Especially practitioners with less experience said that they don't make such visualizations accessible if it was too difficult. Accessibility is still an afterthought and not an indispensable part of a visualization. With that, I would like to quickly share some lessons and future directions. Across the results of our 3 studies, we uncovered the 3-layered effect of uncertainty that practitioners experience. On a personal level, many practitioners just aren't sure when they are providing sufficient accessibility. On an operational level, they often know how to apply certain features using the tools that they have. On an organizational level, there's often uncertainty on the expectations and responsibilities. Restraints in organizational support and resources are known factors hindering accessibility. Our work shows how these issues accumulate for visualizations. They are never accounted for in company accessibility statements. Company design guidelines and statements should incorporate elements such as definitions, expectations, and references specific for visualization accessibility. We also want to encourage future efforts in practice and in research to move on from only simple visualizations. We need to stay up to date with current developments in visualization design and tackle the challenge of providing guidance for advanced and complex visualizations. Our survey and interviews indicate that practitioners often rely on external tools to create visualizations. Therefore, the outcome visualizations are limited by the capability of these tools. Our work points out what is hindering widespread visualization accessibility for visually impaired users. These are only some selected results, and our paper goes into more detail and provides further insight into the thoughts and struggles of visualization creators. Our hope is that this will help for future researchers to address the needs of visualization practitioners.